Okay, so let's talk about early February 2026, because that first week, it wasn't just another week. It was the moment the whole high-stakes, behind-the-scenes battle for AI dominance just blew up and went completely public. We're talking a massive flurry of product launches, crazy expensive ads, big strategic announcements. It was clear a brand new era for AI had just kicked off.
And you want to know where this all went down? The main stage for this coming out party? The Super Bowl, of all places. And I love this quote from the Rundown AI. They just nailed it. They said the fiercest rivalry that night wasn't even on the field. It was between the AI giants, all battling it out for our attention during the commercials. I mean, Super Bowl LX was just flooded. It seemed like every other ad was from a huge name in AI. And you have to understand, this wasn't just about selling a cool new product. No, this was a fight for something way, way bigger, to become the default, the go-to, trusted AI assistant that's just woven into the fabric of our daily lives. And the sheer scale of it was staggering. I mean, you had the players you'd expect, right? Google was there pushing Gemini. Meta was showing off its AI glasses. Amazon, of course, with its new Alexa Plus. But then you had OpenAI and Anthropic in this direct showdown. And get this, Anthropic was running a campaign against ads in AI during an ad break. Even Svedka Vodka got in on the action with a totally AI-generated ad. And to top it all off, a brand new platform, AI.com, made its debut on the world's biggest stage. So yeah, this wasn't some small sideshow. The numbers tell the story. Reports came out that tech's share of all the Super Bowl ad money jumped to around 10%. 10%! That is a massive investment. And it just shows you how absolutely critical this public fight for mainstream adoption has become for these companies. Okay, so what's fueling all this? This marketing blitz didn't just come out of nowhere. It was all being powered by a really radical leap forward in the tech itself. You know, behind all those flashy ads, a whole new kind of arms race was really starting to heat up. Get this, in the very same week as the Super Bowl, both OpenAI and Anthropic dropped their new flagship models. It was like a 1-2 punch. First, OpenAI launches GPT 5.3-Codex, calling it their most capable agentic coding model ever, and it's 25% faster. But then, not to be outdone, Anthropic comes out with Claude Opus 4.6, boasting state-of-the-art performance and a 1 million token context window. To put that in perspective, that means it can process and remember an entire novel's worth of information in just one conversation. Insane. And look, this isn't just marketing fluff. The numbers back it all up. When you look at really complex coding tests like Terminal Bench 2.0, GPT 5.3 Codex didn't just kind of nudge ahead, it completely vaulted past the old record. And at the same time, over in the world of professional knowledge work, think finance, law, Claude Opus 4.6 just blew the previous industry leader out of the water. We're not talking small improvements. These models are absolutely shattering records. So you might be asking, what's the big deal here? It's all about the rise of what people are calling agentic AI. We're moving way beyond simple chatbots that just, answer a question you type in. These new systems, they can plan on their own. They can use tools like a web browser or a code interpreter. They can actually execute really complex multi-step tasks to reach a goal. So you got to stop thinking of it as just a tool and start thinking of it more like a digital collaborator. Now, this whole race isn't just a two-horse show between OpenAI and Anthropic. Don't count Google out. They're taking a really different but just as fascinating approach. They're pushing their Gemini models to go beyond just number crunching and calculation. They're testing them in situations that require actual strategic thinking and even social reasoning. And this brilliantly shows what they're up to. They built this game arena to test AI on super complex games. So yeah, Gemini 3 Pro is already at the top of the leaderboard for chess, which is all about strategy. But what's really interesting is that it's also crushing it at the game Werewolf, which is all about social deduction, lying, figuring out who's telling the truth. And it's competing in poker, a game of risk management. See what they're doing? Google is testing the soft skills that AIs are going to need to actually collaborate in the real world. So with all this incredible new power, the real battlefield is starting to shift. It's moving away from just grabbing consumer eyeballs during the Super Bowl and onto corporate balance sheets. These agentic AIs, they're literally starting to join the workforce. For real. I mean, just listen to this quote from Marco Argenti, the CIO of Goldman Sachs. It really says it all. He's not talking about some simple tool to make things a little easier. He's calling AI a digital coworker designed to tackle really complex, heavy-duty jobs inside one of the biggest financial institutions on the planet. So how's it actually working? Well, for 6 months now, Goldman has been working side by side with engineers from Anthropic to build these agents using Claude. And the goal is to automate incredibly high-stakes work. Things like vetting new clients, making sure everything is compliant with regulations, stuff that requires sifting through mountains of data and making some really complex judgment calls. Of course, OpenAI has an answer to this, and it's just as ambitious. They launched something called the Frontier platform. You can basically think of it as a whole system, an end-to-end solution for big companies to build, roll out, and manage their very own fleet of AI coworkers. And they've already got huge players like State Farm, Uber, and Cisco on board, using it for their most valuable AI work. Right, so this intense competition between the big guys, it's not happening in a bubble. It's sending massive shockwaves through the entire tech ecosystem. It's creating this super dynamic, super heated, and sometimes pretty chaotic market.
You want proof of just how crazy the hype is? The founder of Crypto.com paid $70 million for the domain name AI.com. $70 million. That's the biggest domain sale in history, almost double the old record. A price that high isn't just a purchase, right? It's a massive, massive bet that the very idea of AI is the most valuable piece of digital real estate for the next decade. And this explosion of all these new, super powerful models, it creates a whole new problem. How in the world do you know which one to use for a specific task? Well, that's where other companies like Perplexity are finding their spot. They have this feature called the Model Council. And what it does is it takes your question and runs it across a bunch of the top AI models at the same time. Then it pulls all the results together into one single synthesized answer. It's like a meta layer sitting on top of the whole arms race. Which, of course, brings us to the big, fundamental question. We see all the billion-dollar investments, we see the mind-blowing technology. But how are these companies actually going to make money from all this? What's the long-term business model? How do you turn all this incredible capability into actual, sustainable revenue? And on this point, we see this huge philosophical split right down the middle, especially between the two main rivals. Right as all those Super Bowl ads were airing, OpenAI announces they're beginning to test ads in ChatGPT to help pay for the free version. On the other side, Anthropic doubles down, stating clearly that Claude will remain ad-free, arguing that advertising incentives are fundamentally incompatible with a genuinely helpful AI assistant. Two completely different paths forward. And the final piece of this puzzle is that all of this, the innovation, the investment, the competition, it's all happening in what's basically a rule-free zone. The technology is just moving at this breakneck pace, but the rulebook, the regulations, they're just now being written. And that is setting the stage for a major collision. Just look at this timeline. It shows you just how fast everything is coming to a head. On January 1st of this year, 2026, boom, major new AI laws in California and Texas just went into effect. And there's more coming down the pike in Colorado, and then another one in California later in the year. You can practically hear the regulatory clock ticking, and it is ticking loudly. But here's the big twist. A new executive order just got signed, and its goal is to create one single, uniform federal policy for all of AI. And here's the key part. It explicitly proposes to override any state AI laws that are seen as conflicting or too burdensome. So what does that do? It sets up a direct legal showdown between the states and the federal government, creating this huge cloud of uncertainty for every single company trying to navigate this space. So when you step back and look at the whole picture, what we're really watching is a three-way race. You've got the race for tech supremacy between the AI labs, you've got the race for market share in our lives and our businesses, and then you've got this race to write the rule book that's going to govern it all. Which leaves us with the ultimate question. In this new era, who is really writing the rules? Is it the companies, the government, or is it you?